Everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. I had a mind blank there for a second. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday night. It is Wednesday, April 30th, last day of April 2025. We have a nice little 9-game, 6:35 p.m. Eastern slate here on today's podcast. It's an interesting slate. A lot of baseball. Sorry, I'm distracted. I have a really, really good team going on DK. It could be a really good night for me. It was a Boston-Seattle stack, and that Polanco. The reason that I said in chat that I would be live in just a second, I wanted to see Polanco's at bat, and he just smoked that ball. So got a nice little Boston-Seattle stack going that had Cal Riley, and yeah, I mean. I needed one more out for Reese Olson. I played Reese Olson at very low ownership, and I was so far in front of the field with Reese Olson pitching well, and Reese Olson having he needed that last out. He got pinched on a strike 3 call, and after that, it just all went downhill. So I need like Bryce Miller to get beat up a little bit. Ohtani just hit a bomb too. So Braves Brewers stack with DeGrom and Miller. All right. Well, I'm rooting. No offense, Easy, but I'm rooting against you. So hope everyone's having a good Tuesday night. Derek Yeezy in chat hanging out. Xmas time. It is not, Chris. It is not that time yet. All right, we got baseball. We got a lot to talk about for a 9-game slate. Pitching is really interesting on this slate, just in general. I feel like it's like you look at baseball right now. It's like, man, can we just get like these top end pitchers spread out enough where we don't have it like every other night of like good pitching? But I don't know. It's weird like time right now. But anyway, let's talk some baseball. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm not going to be distracted anymore. I'll get out of this. I really need Churio to get one more at bat here and get some points. Have a lot of prize picks plays with him, and I need Ortiz to just get on base here so Trio gets at least one more at bat. All right, 9-game slate, 6:35 p.m. Eastern start. We have 4 games in that like 6 p.m. window. We get started here with New York at Baltimore. This game is 10. Yeah, 10 total. Pick'em game. Carrasco and Povich facing off against each other in this one. We saw a lot of runs scored on Tuesday in this game. I think it was the Yankees, right? The Yankees had a monster game. We've just seen a lot of runs in general, I feel like, on Tuesday. It's one of those days where just a lot of good offenses just hitting the baseball. Starting here with Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco, below average strikeout pitcher, 15.6% on the season, giving up a lot of power to both sides of the plate. Don't like this matchup for him at all. Baltimore, despite their struggles, they do not have a great offense. They do have a good offense, and they are going to get it going. So no interest for me in Carrasco. We'll talk about some of these Baltimore bats in just a minute. Ty France home run. All right. Looking at the other side, Povich, got to be able to attack this Yankees lineup. And Povich is not a big strikeout guy. He's below average as well. Was below average last year. Really struggles with like right-handed power. Good spot for the Yankees righties. I don't even mind the lefties, but not playing Povich here. I think Aaron Judge is the top hitter on the entire slate. Getting a lefty here. He's expensive, but just continues to hit lefties with massive amount of power. Doesn't strike out against lefties, so great spot for him. Paul Goldschmidt in a small sample size has been really good against lefties this year. Volpe has been good against lefties. Chisenholm, Jazz left the game on Tuesday, so we'll see. I highly doubt he plays in this game. I guess they already said that he won't play, so he's not going to play in this game. So we'll have to kind of see, but they said that, he's not. Jazz isn't playing in this game, so I mean, probably get a guy like Cabrera in there. Who would be the other guy? Peraza, maybe? Peraza probably draws a start. Him and Cabrera. You're going to get some cheap bats to be able to make Judge work. So I think the Yankee stack very much in play here on this one. On the Baltimore side, I mean, I like this stack too. I like this game. I think this is going to be a really good game in general. If you like offense, which we all like offense. Carrasco's hittable. His numbers against lefties, there's a lot of regression coming with his numbers against lefties. He's been getting very lucky against lefties. He's been getting hit very hard against lefties, just right at people. That'll regress. I like Mullins, Rutschman, Henderson, Laureano has been really good righty this year if he draws the start. Ryan O'Hearn. I like this team. Baltimore, full go for me today. I like this game. I think this is a really, really high offensive scoring game today. Cubs at Pirates, 8.5 total in this one. Cubbies a minus 175 favorite. We have Boyd and oh my, I did not look up how to say this guy's name. I should have. Hold on. Let me before I give this a go. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Hold on. Loginski. Okay. I think that's close. I don't know. Loginski is what I'm going with here. That's how it's said in this one quick clip that I have found. It tells you how much like Pirates we've had on the slate this year. I don't know who this guy is, and if you've been around for a while, I am very up and up on pitching in the bigs. All right, Boyd. His strikeout rate this season is below average. His swinging strike rate and whiff rate is way down. Very concerning. I know I've talked about this a couple times this season on the podcast. I've stacked against him a couple times this year because of this. I'm trying to. My computer is not agreeing with me right now. I'm trying to pull this up. He's getting hit. He's had some tough opponents. He's faced the Dodgers twice. He's faced San Diego twice. And he's faced Arizona. You look at those three offenses, three really, really strong offenses. So looking at last year compared to this year, his velocity's up. His whiff rate's just down right now. But is that just matchup based? I mean, he's faced 5 really tough games. I don't think this is a tough spot. I think this is a spot that we take advantage of people just looking at Matthew Boyd saying, he might not have it this year. He just hasn't had a matchup yet. I mean, this is the matchup. So I like the spot a lot for Boyd. Gosh, that San Francisco game is tilting me right now. Sorry, I am looking for something to write on. I like to make notes when I'm going on the podcast, and I forgot my notebook out in my living room, and I can't go get it right now. I like this spot a lot. Sorry, I just wanted to make a note really quick. So when I was doing my, I like to make notes to like go and look into stuff more, and I wanted to make a note to go look into Boyd more. So, but everything I'm looking here on the surface looks really good. This matchup is not bad by any means. The bottom half of this lineup very beatable. So I like Boyd. Other side here, Loginski is how I think we're gonna roll with it. Loginski, yeah. So that's what we're gonna roll with here. Again, I don't know much about this guy. Looking at his stats, below average strikeout pitcher, struggles high WOBA, good ground ball rate against righties. He hasn't pitched deep into games yet. Where'd this guy come from? I'm looking him up. I have to like again. There's not many times. Was he a relief pitcher or something last year? Looks like he's a good ground ball pitcher, not a below average strikeout pitcher. I mean, decent stuff. Low swinging strike rate. Yeah, I mean, he started a few times last year. Just must not remember him, but yeah, no interest for me in this spot against one of the best offenses in baseball this year, the Chicago Cubs. I know Yeezy and I have joked about it, like just stack the Cubs every slate. It just feels that way. They have been incredible this year. I like the Cubs stack a lot in this spot. Again, it looks like he's going to struggle a little bit more with lefties, especially in a starter role. Low swinging strike rate. You have to be able to attack this team. Love this spot for the Cubs. Tucker. Why did I say Tyler? Tucker, Suzuki. I mean, we laugh at the fact that like Kelly is 5K, but he's crushing the baseball. I don't know what is going on with Carson Kelly, but he's crushing the baseball. I mean, no one's going to play Carson Kelly at that price point. I probably won't either. Man, the Cubs prices are through the roof on DraftKings. I haven't looked at FanDuel yet. The stack's going to be tough. PCA is always someone I love to play at 4,500. He just has that speed power combo that I love. Talk about it all the time with him. Easy in chat, 100% PCA. Yep. As far as Pittsburgh is concerned, I prefer Boyd. This is a first look podcast. It always has been. 9 seasons now. At first look, I prefer Boyd over Pittsburgh. I will say McCutcheon's always been really good against lefties throughout his career. Joey Bart typically hits lefties better. Brian Reynolds has a little bit more power from the right side, but also strikes out more. So I personally prefer Boyd here. Shota left the game early on Tuesday, so they had to use a little bit more bullpen than they were probably expecting. So I think they give Boyd a little bit of a leash here. His best matchup of the season. I'm on the Boyd side, not the Pittsburgh side here. St. Louis at Cincinnati. Are we gonna get a double header here and this game get like taken off the slate or something? I know, right? Isn't it? Are we getting a double header? Chat, let me know. I know this game. I guess it's a 12:40 doubleheader, so maybe they leave this. Sometimes DraftKings and FanDuel will like take off doubleheader slates, but with the other one starting so early, we might get this one. It is a doubleheader. It's just I couldn't find it because it's at 12:40. I wasn't looking that far up. Anyway, this game has a total, so we'll talk about this one. It has a 9.5 total. Reds a 125 favorite. We got Matz and Abbott facing off against each other in this one. We'll start here with Steven Matz going up against Cincinnati. I will say really quick that I really like the De La Cruz stolen base prop for the Miles Mikolas start. I'm assuming that Mikolas still starts the early game. Steven Matz, we really haven't seen a lot of him. He's kind of pitched out of the bullpen most of the season, it feels like. He's in here on the doubleheader, and he has not been good. Low strikeouts. Hasn't necessarily gotten blown up, but his strikeouts are just so bad. It's a high strikeout offense. You really got to be able to attack this offense. So no real interest for me in this spot for Mats. All right, moving on to the other side here. Abbott. Man, I had a lot of Andrew Abbott last time out, and it was against the Rockies in Coors. It didn't work out. I think I'm going back to the well here. His strikeout stuff has been really solid this season. He looks healthy. His numbers look healthy. Velocity is closer to what we want it to be at. I think he's worth the tournament risk on a slate where we don't have a ton of pitching options. He's sitting at 32.8% strikeouts. He has a 27% whiff rate. Swinging strike rate definitely suggests that like we're going to see a little bit of regression. He's been a little lucky. But you look at the St. Louis lineup, they have a lot of lefties. They're not going to be able to get all of these left-handed hitters out of the lineup. They'll be able to get a couple of them with some of these platoon guys. But like even like Jordan Walker platooning, like he's striking out a ton against lefties this year. Baker's been striking out a lot against lefties this year. The catcher Paez, he's been striking out a lot against lefties. So I think there's a lot of upside in this matchup for Abbott. Hate the ballpark. This is one of the better hitting ballparks in baseball, but I think this is a spot we take some tournament shots on Andrew Abbott. Let's talk about St. Louis bats. Even though I have some interest in Abbott, we're going to get some cheaper bats here because they are going to platoon. It is a doubleheader, so we're going to get some platoon hitters in here. Win 3,200. Walker, I know, like I said, he's been really struggling against lefties, but he's 3K. Baker at 2,500 has been struggling against lefties. You get to play the platoon here. I prefer the Abbott side, but we're getting Nolan Arenado. Like, there's some cheap righties here in a really good ballpark that I don't mind taking some shots on. I still prefer Abbott over this offense, but if I end up playing like a 20-incher max on this slate, which I probably will, I think you could take some shots on some of these cheap St. Louis bats as like one-offs or secondary stacks. As far as Cincinnati goes, I like the Reds here. Love the ballpark for them. Matt McClain has been awesome against lefties this year. Steer has been awesome against lefties. Marte at 4,100 on DraftKings seems like a really good price tag. The stack should be cheap. If they catch Trevino in the first game of this doubleheader, we're probably getting wins in the second game. And I mean, he's just turned back time and he's hitting everything right now. So I think overall, Cincinnati, you're going to get some cheap bats in here. Probably, again, more of like a mini, just because we do have offenses with a ton of ceiling on this slate. But, yeah, I mean, I don't mind this team. I think this is a good spot. I like these, like, Wednesday and Thursday, like, slates where we get teams that we don't typically get because they've been starting their games at, like, 6:45. Washington at Philadelphia, 8 total in this game. Phillies a 225 favorite here. We got Irvin and Sanchez facing off against each other. We'll start here with Irvin first. Jake Irvin sits like right below average as far as like strikeouts. Last year, he really struggled with lefties. He's struggling with lefties. His strikeout rate is up. But his barrel rate against lefties is just so high. His BABIP is so low. He has so much regression coming to his numbers this season. I don't think I can do it. I know he's pitched well. I know he's under 8K. I know he's beat some solid teams. But I look at the advanced stats, I look at the hard contact, and I look at some of the advanced numbers and just like, I just can't do it. I do like Sanchez here. Coming off of a probably tilting start last time out. I know I played him in that matchup against the Mets a little bit. Left with a forearm injury. And they said that like he's had a bullpen session. Everything was good, no issues. I mean, I guess there's a little bit more risk in it than last time out, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a good matchup. This offense really solid against righties this year, but they've really struggled with lefties. I think we have to take the risk a little bit and just play Sanchez. Yeah, Logan Webb does not have it today. Like, there's just sometimes where pitchers don't have it, and Logan Webb just doesn't have it today. Like, it's just not. Yeah, referring to Derek in chat. I need Seattle to get going again. But yeah, I like Sanchez a lot in this spot. I think this is a really good spot for them or for him. I think the upside's there. I'm willing to risk the forearm again. They pushed him back one day because of his bullpen. Like, yeah, I'm in. As far as the bats here, I don't really have an interest in. I mean, he's so good against lefties. This team is very left-handed heavy. That's why they're good against right-handed pitching. I don't think I'm playing any Washington bats today. Philly bats. I mean, again, the advanced numbers for Jake Irvin suggest that we have some regression coming here. When is that regression going to happen? Is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen over time? But yeah, I mean, he's giving up 47% hard hits. He's giving up 12.5% barrels. His fastball velocity is not great. Like, you look at his baseball savant page and you're like, man, this guy, he should be getting crushed, and he's just not. He's just going out and he's throwing a ton of curveballs, and it's working right now. But his other pitches are just getting absolutely crushed. I like Harper. I like Schwarber regardless, but I think Philly could potentially be a low-owned stack that could get the job done. So I don't mind looking at some Philly bats today. Kansas City at Tampa Bay. 9 total in this game. The Rays, a 178 favorite. We got Rasmussen against Cameron. Rays, one of the most disappointing teams for me on Tuesday. It's baseball. Variance happens. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Noah Cameron, a lefty. I had it up. I just got to pull it back up. Where did the tab go? So Noah Cameron grades out as a guy that could potentially do some damage here. He throws a lot of strikes. I was looking at his stuff before the podcast. So Noah Cameron, this will be his major league debut. I don't know if I said that, but below average fastball, good changeup. Has been really good this year in AAA, striking out 30% of batters, good swinging strike rate. Last season, he had really good strikeout stuff. I mean, he's had really good strikeout stuff. Again, a lefty with a good changeup is always dangerous, always has a lot of upside. Fifth prospect in the Kansas City organization. Again, like, really good command. Everything I read about him, really good command. So he's 4K. He's minimum salary on DraftKings. This offense, hit or miss against left-handed pitching. It's been like that for years. I mean, strike thrower making his debut. Can he get like 15? I mean, we don't need Noah Cameron to go out and score 15 points. I don't think it's crazy to potentially take some shots on him, knowing the risk is you probably want to have a stacker 5 against him if you are playing a little bit. But I'm a sucker for minimum salary DK pitchers, two SP2s, minimum salary SP2s. So I'll probably end up playing a little bit of him in my 20 inch max build. I'll also stack against him. We'll talk about that in a minute. Other side of this game, I know I've said this a bunch on the podcast this year in multiple starts, but I think Drew Rasmussen is legit. I think that this guy has the upside to be an ace, and he throws strikes. He strikes people out. He limits power. He limits everything, really. And there's more upside to him than what he's showing so far. So I like this spot a lot for Rasmussen. The only thing that worries me and that I always bring up with him is they typically will limit his pitches. The Kansas City team, while they haven't had a ton of power to start the season, they don't strike out a ton. So ownership could be a factor for me, but I like this matchup a lot for him. I think he goes out. I just like Rasmussen in general as a pitcher. As far as the Kansas City bats go, not a ton of interest in Kansas City for me today. I definitely prefer Rasmussen over him, over them, over him, over them. Tampa bats. This is where it's interesting. You have a strike thrower making his debut. This offense is hit or miss against lefties. Cam Nero. He did well for us. He was like the only Ray that did anything. This lineup doesn't do the best against left-handed pitching. Diaz is good against lefties. Morel is okay against lefties. Cavallaro is good-ish against lefties, but one of the reasons that I have some interest in this guy making his debut is like this lineup's not great, but if I am playing him, I think I blindly just stack this offense and say, I mean, it's a pitcher making his major league debut. I want some exposure. I mean, that's where I would be at. Red Sox heading to Toronto, taking on the Blue Jays. Really worked out. Man, the Red Sox, they got it done on Tuesday. We got a 9 total in this game. It's a pick'em game. Giolito and Lawrence. Giolito making his first start of the season. He hasn't pitched since 2023. He got hit pretty hard in his rehab starts. I don't know what to expect here for him. The fact that he got hit like really bad in his rehab starts, I don't think is great. We really haven't seen him. I think there's better pitchers on the slate in general. So I think I pass on Lucas Giolito today. We'll talk about the bats in a minute. Casey Lawrence on the other side here. I mean, 83 pitches last time out, got hit pretty hard by Seattle. I don't expect him to do well in this matchup. I'm going right back to the well on the Red Sox. I think that they're a top stack on the slate. Load him up. Duran just keeps doing his thing. Devers hitting a lot better than he was at the beginning of the season. Bregman just having an incredible year with the Red Sox. Brayu keeps hitting. Campbell keeps hitting. I'm going to go right back to Red Sox stacks today. I think that they're one of the top stacks on the slate. I like Toronto. Just facing a pitcher that hasn't pitched in the bigs in a year or two. Got hit, like I said, he got hit hard in his minor league stuff this year in his rehab. I like Toronto. They're cheap on DraftKings. Santander is off to a really cold start. No idea what's going on with him, but I like this stack. They're a stack I'm looking at for sure. I just don't trust Giolito in general, so I'll stack them up. Arizona at New York, taking on the Mets. No total in this game, and a lot of that is because Brandon Waddell is getting called up, and yeah, wasn't he with the Mets? Anyway, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's go Arizona first. We haven't seen Waddle in a long time. Anyway, let's talk Burns here. It finally had some strikeout stuff last time out. But we saw this with Corbin Burns last season. The strikeouts really dropped off for Corbin Burns last year. He went from like 25, 26, 27% to like 22.5% last year. He's at 21.9% this year. His walk rate is up, which you don't want to see because, he is a strike thrower. He has not been good. He's expensive. The Mets don't strike out against right-handed pitching. I think this is an easy stay away from me on Burns today. Even in this ballpark, I don't have any interest. Brandon Waddle, I know he went overseas and pitched in the KBO, I'm pretty sure the last few years. AAA this season with the Mets, 10.6% swinging strikes, strikeout rate 21.6%. He's done a good job of limiting home runs, but when we saw him back in 2020, 2021 era, he gave up a lot of home runs. So I don't know how much I want to believe that he's not giving up home runs. I know pitchers go over and change their stuff in the KBO. He's definitely generating more ground balls since going over to the KBO than he was. But overall, I know he's 4K. I prefer the other cheap pitcher on the slate, Cameron. I can't do it. Let's talk bats. I prefer lefties. Sorry, I prefer lefties again, or I prefer right-handed pitchers against Arizona. I think this offense is a lot better against right-handed pitching, but I think the stack is in play. Pitcher not. I mean, again, really hasn't pitched long time in the majors. It's been a while. KBO is going to be way different than pitching in the majors, so I like the spot. Grichuk, Gurriel, Suarez. I wouldn't leave Carroll out of my stack. I wouldn't leave Perdomo out of my stack. I think I'd stack just to play more against the pitcher than the actual team. But I think that Arizona is okay. They're not a top end stack for me today. I think there are a lot better stacks on the slate. But if I was going to play them, I'd stack them kind of like the Mets. If the hitting conditions are similar, the wind was ripping out on Tuesday. So obviously we'll see what Weather Edge has over there on Roto Grinders and what Roth has to say. But I think the Mets are a potential sneaky stack on the slate against Burns. No one's going to stack them against Burns. He hasn't been great. He's giving up a ton of hard contact. Maybe use them as more of a secondary stack because he's still not giving up a ton of home runs this year. But, I mean, he's getting hit hard enough where I could see a stack working out. Milwaukee at Chicago, taking on the White Sox, 7.5 total in this game. The Brewers, a 162 favorite. We got Smith and Myers. Tobias Myers making his second start this year. His first one did not go well. He got hit pretty hard by San Francisco, did not pitch well in that game. Freddie Peralta disappointed me in so many ways. Thought this would be the start. Myers last season was an average strikeout pitcher. We saw him a lot. Didn't really pitch deep into games. It's a great matchup. You love the matchup against the White Sox, but he just really hasn't shown the ability to go out and dominate an offense. He's gonna struggle with command, or he has been struggling with command. So yeah, I mean, he threw 82 pitches in his first starts. I don't know. He missed a lot of spring training because of the oblique injury. Personally, I don't have a lot of interest in him. I know the matchup's good, but I don't have a lot of interest in him. especially if he gets like ownership. As far as like Shane Smith on the other side of this game, what are the White Sox pitchers doing? He's done a really good job this year of like limiting power, not getting blown up, trying to generate ground balls. Very low potential for like strikeouts most of the time here. He's had some good games. Brewers are really good against right-handed pitching. They struggle against left-handed pitching, but they're a top 10 offense against right-handed pitching this season. I don't like this spot for Shane Smith. I'm going to go back to the well here on Milwaukee. Yelich, Collins, if he hits towards the top again. Cheerio. Frelick, Hoskins, Contreras, all in play for me here. Terang, I like the Milwaukee bats in this spot. I don't think I would play them in a full stack, but I'll definitely have pieces of them in like 5-3s, 5-2-1, stuff like that. It's not like a full stack for me because he's done a good job of limiting power. But man, if they can get to the bullpen, I know we talk about it a bunch, but the White Sox bullpen continues to struggle. I think they only, they're bottom 10 in a lot of stats. As far as the White Sox bats go, I think they're interesting as one-offs here. I don't think I get to a full stack, but like with Myers' command issues, it wouldn't be the craziest thing to full stack this team and it work out. Like Benintendi is my favorite. Brooks Baldwin has some power. He strikes out. It's really just the cheap hitters. They're just so incredibly cheap that I'm going to make a note. Chicago 1 or 2 cheap. And I'll have some exposure to them as one-offs or two-man. Just they're so cheap. I mean, if you're trying to fit in some high-end pitching and some high-end stacks, the White Sox might be a team to look at to help make that happen. We finish out the slate at 8 p.m. Eastern. Like, it's going to be a very early ending to the slate, which is kind of nice. Athletics at Texas Rangers, 8 total in this game. The Rangers a 155 favorite. Jacob deGrom looked awesome. Got to watch a little bit of that. Severino against Eovaldi in this one. I mean, Severino has not like been bad. His strikeout rate's down, but he is coming off of his best strikeout game of the season, but it was against the White Sox. The Texas bats, despite not having the best start to the season, they're still really good. They put the ball in play. They've just left a lot of runners on base to start the year. I don't like Severino at 8K. I prefer going other places. As far as the Eovaldi goes, he's been sound. His strikeout to walk ratio, one of the better strikeout to walk ratios in baseball this year. He keeps pitching really well. He's had a couple bad outings, but overall, he's pitched really well. So I think he is definitely in my player pool for pitching today. Bats against him. I mean, last year when Eovaldi struggled, it was like left-handed power. So Soderstrom, Butler. I don't ever hate like the idea of playing Bengaliers with his catcher upside, Brent Rooker. Personally, I think I'm on the Eovaldi side of this game more than I am on the Athletic side. But I wouldn't talk you off of some of these Athletic bats. As far as the Texas bats go here against Severino, like I said, he's had a really solid start to the season, but some of his advanced numbers say that he's getting a little lucky. So looking at this spot, I have some interest in Wyatt Langford. If Josh Smith is up towards the top of the lineup, I've been playing him. Garcia, I like Garcia more. Righty. Josh Jung. I mean, Texas, I played Texas a lot more than I probably should, but I'm going right back to Texas here. Who is my favorite SP1? I mean, at first look, my favorite SP1 on this slate might actually be Matthew Boyd. Again, I need to do a little bit more research for Matthew Boyd, but man, looking at who he's faced and like his numbers are still really solid. Like his advanced numbers are really solid still. I think at first look, my favorite pitcher on this slate is Matthew Boyd. I think it's him, Sanchez, and Rasmussen for me. At like my first look, those are my three favorites. Like the tournament upside for Abbott, like the tournament potential for Eovaldi. But at first look here, my favorite is going to be Matthew Boyd. I didn't expect to come on the podcast and like fall in love with Matthew Boyd for what it's worth, but I mean, sometimes it's just in the research. All right. If you haven't already, make sure you go over to the Morning Grind YouTube page, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. That way, you know when we're live. You can come hang out and chat with us. We have an awesome community here. And if I just perhaps forget to upload the podcast like I did on Tuesday, you can always, I'm live on YouTube every time I do a podcast. So if I forget to put it up on the podcast stream, oops, I did not realize I did that until I sat back at my computer tonight to do the podcast. I worked from my laptop today because my wife was working and nobody tweeted me or messaged me or anything. But yeah, totally forgot. But YouTube, every time you can go over there, and there's always, anytime that I'm doing a podcast for a baseball slate, I'm going to have, there'll be a YouTube video because I'm always live when I record on YouTube. All right. Morning grind game. Under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. This is a tough one today. I don't think there's a ton of pitchers to play down here. I kind of want to go all the way down to like Noah Cameron here and just take the guy making his debut that throws a lot of strikes and has shown some upside. So give me him. I don't like a lot of pitchers under 8K. I like the 8K range. Sanchez, Boyd, Abbott, Rasmussen. I like that range a lot, but I don't like under 8K. If that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Over 8K to score under 15. Who's my bust today? I'm going Burns against the Mets. Who got a complete game? Who got the complete game? Over 4K to hit a home run. A lot of offense. I like a lot of offenses on the slate. I already said that I think Judge is like my top overall hitter on the slate, but I don't like picking Judge. I'm going to go with my boy who has been a lot better at the plate here recently. Give me my boy Devers from the Red Sox to go yard. Under, oh, I see. Carolina guy, not complete game. All right. That makes more sense. Under 4K to score 10 plus points. I'm going to go. Man, I'm going to go Josh Smith against Severino. Should hit towards the top of the lineup. Him or Spencer Steer. Like, those are my two initial guys that I like. That, like, Steer has been a lot better here recently and hits left-handed pitching well. Stack to score 6 or more runs. Chicago Cubs. Do not forget about the Chicago Cubs today. I'm going to play the Cubs. I like the Cubs. Like a lot of stacks. I mean, there's a bunch of stacks I like today. I'm going to, like, I typically do a really good job of narrowing down my pitchers, but hitters today might be a lot tougher to narrow down for me. A lot of potential. That's it for today. I don't think I'm going to record a podcast tomorrow. Let's see. There's a lot of day baseball games on Thursday. I'm on Grinders Live, so you can check that out. I'll be back Thursday night to break down Friday's slate. Hope everyone has a fantastic and great Wednesday. See everybody again Thursday night for Friday.